There are two women named Abigail in the Bible, and their stories are quite different. The first Abigail is found in 1 Samuel 25. She was a woman married to a wealthy man named Nabal, who was described as harsh and evil in his doings, 1 Samuel 25 verses 3. While the second Abigail is mentioned in 2 Samuel 17 verses 25 and 1 Chronicles 2 verses 16. She was the daughter of Jesse and the sister of David's rebellious son, Absalom. Little is known about this Abigail, and her story is not told in the Bible. So having said that, this story we'll be covering today will the first Abigail. Welcome to the Water of Worship channel, where we bring you a unique worship experience. On Mondays and Fridays, we bring you worship songs that are enhanced with the sound of water, perfect for starting and ending your week with a refreshing and uplifting vibe. Wednesdays are dedicated to Bible readings, where we explore different chapters and verses of the Bible while immersing ourselves in the sounds of nature. On Saturdays like this, we dive deep into the lives of little-known individuals in the Bible, telling their stories with a powerful voiceover and the calming sounds of water. And daily, we post YouTube shorts that highlight interesting and little-known biblical facts. I know you can't wait to hear about and gain more knowledge about the one and only Abigail mentioned in the Bible. But before that, if you're yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, kindly do that now. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get notified that I drop interesting videos just like this one. Let's begin. Abigail was a wise and beautiful woman who lived in the town of Carmel in ancient Israel. She was the wife of a wealthy man named Nabal, who was known for his harsh and selfish nature. Abigail, on the other hand, was known for her kindness, wisdom, and good judgment. Abigail's parents are not mentioned in the Bible, but it is said that she was from the tribe of Judah. She married Nabal, a wealthy man who owned flocks of sheep and goats and lived in the town of Maon in the wilderness of Paran. Abigail's job was to manage the household, including the servants and the finances. She was known for her wise decisions and her ability to manage the household efficiently. When David was on the run from King Saul, he and his men camped near Nabal's property in the wilderness. David sent a message to Nabal, asking for provisions for himself and his men, but Nabal refused. David was furious and planned to attack Nabal's household. David and 400 of his warriors were on their way to seek retribution for Nabal's unwise answer. But one of Nabal's slaves warned Abigail of her husband's lack of social graces, and what David's plans were upon his arrival. Abigail's reaction was in sharp contrast to that of her husband. She knew who David was and who he served. Without reluctance, and without alerting her husband, Abigail packed numerous food supplies and placed them on donkeys. Then she set out to meet the future king of Israel. When Abigail saw David, without a word, she fell on her face before him, lowering herself to the ground. Falling at his feet, Abigail presented the most modest, passionate appeal for David to save her husband's family. But her plea was not made from a heart of fear, nor was it from a heart of resentment against her husband. Rather, although she confessed that her husband was a man of ill character, she reminded David that his life was in the hands of God. His adversaries would be annihilated because of God's justice, and his own house would remain. She just begged in return that, after God had completed what he had promised, David remember her. Abigail's modest answer warmed David's heart. He recognized the folly he was going to commit. He had only recently saved the life of King Saul, who attempted to slay David. Yet David had been willing to annihilate the home of a man who had only insulted him. His life of exile had infuriated him, and this anger had almost driven him to seek revenge against a man who was not his genuine adversary. David heard Abigail's sensible advice. He appreciated her for the immense respect she accorded her husband's home, despite his defective character. He sent her out with a benediction, ensuring her safe return home and the protection of the men of Nabal. When Abigail returned home and told Nabal what had happened, he had a heart attack and died a few days later. After Nabal's death, David sent for Abigail and asked her to be his wife. She accepted his proposal, and they were married. Abigail became one of David's wives, and they had a son named Chilib. Abigail is remembered for her wisdom, kindness, and good judgment, and for preventing a disastrous conflict between David and Nabal. She is a biblical example of a strong and intelligent woman who used her talents and abilities to make a positive difference in her world. Thank you for listening and staying until the end of this video. Don't forget to like and leave us a comment if you enjoy this content, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for a unique worship experience, where you can find peace, inspiration, and spiritual growth. And you can always look forward to our daily YouTube shorts that highlight interesting and little-known biblical facts. Join us every day for a quick dose of knowledge and inspiration. Once again, welcome to the Water of Worship, where we bring you closer to God through the beauty of nature.